afternoon and welcome to the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association for Teachers' Worth. Tutor is very well aware of the silent but profound contributions of teachers, not just in the classroom, and hence they've embarked on this project. One teacher from each district will be chosen. Well, today we're talking with Patsy de France. Now, Patsy de France is a secondary school mathematics teacher at the Faizabad Anglican Secondary School. Thank you so much for joining us, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, in addition to being a mathematics teacher, I also teach fitness. I also teach at UWI. I'm an e-tutor with UWI. I'm an assistant examiner with CXC. I am a mother of 4.
Wow. How old are your kids?
22, 20, 19, and 7.
Okay. So how have you been managing them at school and so on with the pandemic? And
My eldest works. 2 are in university, and 1 is going through the gruesome experience of online right now.
you're calling it gruesome?
Yeah,
Why?
she doesn't like it. She doesn't have a passion for it right now. She misses her friends. She misses being able to run about and things like that. And the others are older than her. She's the youngest, so the experience isn't much for her in terms of having people to play with and
coping. Yeah. And she really misses that interaction with school and so on. But then as well, I feel like, because I have 2 kids, and I feel like the online teaching isn't for all children, whereas it might work for some, it may not work for others.
That's so true.
So how have you been coping though at the helm of the classroom during the pandemic, teaching students? How has that been going?
I recently returned to the classroom because I was on scholarship with Cipriani College, so I've only recently returned to the classroom. I really enjoy teaching online, to be honest. The only part of it I do not like is the ability to meet students and get to know them, and that engagement. You don't really get that online. That part of it I really missed.
And that's also important.
Yes, it is, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about the fitness. Were you always involved in fitness?
I started about 18 years ago. My husband is also a fitness instructor. And during the pandemic, because we were doing a lot of sitting and we couldn't go to the gym, we couldn't walk because that was not allowed after a certain time, right? So what we did is we started doing live classes on Facebook because people were asking for it. Then we went on to do YouTube videos. So they are even today being looked at. We have quite a few viewers. It's still being used. And then I wanted to get back into fitness, but I didn't want to go to the gym because I didn't feel safe yet. So I joined a class, and what they were doing is that they were showing YouTube videos in the class. And I was like, why am I going to do a class that is doing YouTube videos? So I started doing my own classes, right? Then as a part of the Cipriani Guild, what I started to do is they asked me to do 1 month of fitness with the students, because during that time students are basically emotionally stressed. They have less things to do, and they needed something to look forward to. So we went through a series of events that we were doing with them, and for 1 month I did classes with them every Wednesday, and it was really fun and engaging.
How was it received?
Well received.
And their comments?
Well, it tends to be quite fun. I use a lot of soca music. Who doesn't like soca?
Yeah,
right? I try to make it fun and engaging. Sometimes you get tired, but we are Trinis, right? What do we do when we get tired? We whine. Wine and dance and have
fun. So you incorporate all that, the gyration and so on, into the fitness. Okay, very nice. And tell us about Fitness Day, this promotional video that you guys did.
Maloney Public Library wanted us to do a fitness video promoting fitness for Fitness Day 2020. And they asked us to do it, and we did it at that time.
And response, like how many followers do you have? What's the name of your channel? How can people...
Well, the channel is Difference Fitness, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Difference Fitness. we can follow us through that.
Difference. Well, difference. So there's a kind of play on the words.
Yes.
And so on. So how have you been, you know, we're at this precarious point where, you know, more is being asked of women in particular. You're a career woman and you're also being called to be a mother at home. Some of the challenges, and how do you overcome it? How do you balance
What I
and
found
motherhood?
that I have started doing is looking at a lot of motivational videos. Right? And that is helping me quite a lot to cope at this moment. The fitness, and I'm started yoga and meditating. And that is helping me a lot in terms of being able to cope during this time. And by me learning these things through the video, I'm also being able to impart that to my viewers and persons who also engage in fitness with me.
What are some, take us back to the classroom, some of the fun moments within your classroom? You have secondary school students. Some of the most memorable times in the classroom.
What I like most about teaching mathematics is the moment when they say, Miss, that can't be that easy. I love that. Because I teach in such a way that the concept, most students have math anxiety. So when they get that, I try to overcome that. That's my main goal, get over that math anxiety. Because sometimes when you ask students, when I first get them and they ask me, how much is 3 add 2? And they're like, oh my God, what is Miss asking me? I'm just asking you, what is 3 add 2? And because of that math anxiety, they block you off. Right? So what I do is I get over that. So my first step is to when they get over that, Miss, that can't be that easy. The hard thing is coming just now. When is the hard thing coming? Right? And I love that about teaching math especially. Because most people, when you say you're teaching math, like math, they watch you like, oh my God, math?
Where does the math anxiety come from to begin with?
I think many times the concepts are not taught well. Right? Maybe too much. Most times it's drill and practice, and that tends to not help students. They don't understand.
They don't understand.
Right.
They're just doing.
Right. So when you develop the concept from very simple and actually apply it to everyday life, so now I ask them how you pay by 3 pluri and 2 doubles, and they give you a cost, and they could actually bring that together. It makes it more applicable than you asking them 3x add 2y. It's like, what is that?
So like the number one question children pose to teachers is like, Miss, why we have to learn that? We're not going to use that in life. What is your response?
I show them where it becomes applicable to real life, because there are many scenarios where even now with online teaching, you can actually get a video that shows how each concept is applied to everyday life, even trigonometry. You know, that it tends to be the greatest one that they say, Miss, where you got to use trigs or Pythagoras' theorem?
Teach us. Teach us how. Not fitness yet. I'm not dressed for the fitness. But the where do you use Pythagoras' theorem in real life or trigs in real life?
In everyday life, you're talking about, well, mostly people who are engineering would use that. We ourselves don't really every day. I would use this as my teacher, but mostly engineers and people who are into constructions and things like that. Yeah.
Your students, so you're teaching at the Faizabad Anglican Secondary School. So we spoke with another teacher who was saying teaching in a rural community is different from urban. What has been your experience?
You know what?
Teaching urban
Right.
area
So
versus
now
rural.
for me, I would say I wouldn't be able to compare the two because I've only taught at the rural level. For me to be able to compare the two, I would have had to teach at both levels. So me making a comment on that would be doing it based on other person's experience, and I don't think that would be fair.
Yeah.
That's my
So your overall teaching experience, as you look at it, some of the highs, lows.
I love teaching students who others think are unteachable. Give me those students, I will work with them and do the unthinkable. That's what I love. That's the highlight of my teaching.
But what gets students at that stage to be thought of as unteachable? Is it that, you know, when they get to secondary school, they don't have the basics?
Maybe. I don't want to make a comment from that point. I don't know what went on in their life experience before, but wherever I get them at, my goal is to get them beyond that point.
Get them beyond that point. Any advice as we try to navigate this, as we close and we try to navigate this uncertain period of the pandemic and online learning? Any advice to your students and students out there?
They have to make the best of this experience right now. There's a lot of information out there. There are lots of ways that you can learn in terms of YouTube. But I think they love YouTube, they love Facebook, they love Instagram, and there are videos even on different medias that they can use to help them, and they should use it. I don't think many of them use it to learn, and they could use it to learn.
So just use your tools productively.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Patsy de France, for joining us for this edition of A Teacher's Week.